Deborah Coco, and welcome to the Just Gimme the Mic show, where we pass the mic so you can tell the world who you are and what it is that you do. Welcome. Check us out every Sunday night at 10 p.m. on Burnsnet Channel 68, and look for us on YouTube.
Hey everybody, thank you for tuning in to the Just Give Me the Mic show. I am your host, Deborah Coco. I have a great show lined up for you today. We have an author in the building. We have Trevi Pershay. She's here to tell us about her book. We also have industry artist Fel Davis in the building of Public Announcement. He is in from Chicago. He's here to tell us his story and also perform one of his new music, some new music that he has out now. We also have Pretty Militant in the building. Shout out to Pretty Militant. We have El Bizzle, we have El Diamond, and we have Julz in the building. So you are in store for a great show. Just sit back and relax, and we coming straight at you. Just give me the mic, y'all. Sit tight.
Lying, denying, deceiving, I'm leaving. You cheated, misleading, told me I'm the only one. I believe it. Now my card is up, it won't come down this time. I'm messing around. When the tables turn, you're gonna get your turn. I hope it burns, yeah, I hope it burns. It's hard to replace it, never again. There's nothing left, so my guard is up. It won't come down this time. Not messing around. Don't fall for you, won't fall for him. I am hollow, empty within. Keep saying that I'm good.
Coming up first, we have Julz. He is a songwriter and singer, right? R&B, is it R&B or?
I do pop and R&B.
Pop and R&B. And we also have Trevi Pershay joining us today.
Author, playwright, dance teacher, entrepreneur, and a pastor.
Right? Oh, many titles. And, you know, and we're here on a Sunday, and we're talking about our experiences today. You did a great performance for us, so thank you for that. Great. I really enjoyed that. I mean, we actually met, you know, what, 2-3 years now?
Yeah.
At a couple of venues. I've seen you perform and do many shows, and she always has that great energy, that passion behind her music is what I love so much. So how has it been for you? It's been like 2 years maybe a year since we actually talked and interviewed, so we definitely need to catch up a little bit. So what's been going on with you lately as far as your music and your career?
Well, recently I became a free agent. I represent myself. I'm working on 3 singles, and I'm also working on an album titled Words of a Woman.
Nice.
I'm also writing a book, titling it Back to the Roots, speaking about women empowerment. It's a lot about my life and the predicaments that I found myself in throughout my life from childhood to adulthood, in hopes to pretty much help other women, young girls, get through situations.
Okay.
It's going to have a lot of artwork, a lot of poetry.
Nice.
And it's going to be kind of a journal for women as well. As they read through the book. So,
And that's important.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes we go through things in life and we don't realize how we've been affected by it. We just move on and we try to carry on and we're like, okay, we'll get over it.
Right.
And we think we forget about it. But no, it comes up in other ways, right?
Definitely. Right.
Through your actions, things you overlook, things you accept, right?
Exactly.
And so it does still affect us. So it's a great way to get that out. And your story can also help somebody else as
Absolutely.
well. So let's talk about your book too, because I know you said you wrote a couple of plays, like how many? 17?
I've written 17 plays.
lot.
One is going to be on Broadway on July 20th of this year. We'll be at the Symphony Space Theater.
Nice. I
And
love
then
that
this
location.
is actually my first book.
Okay.
So this book is it's called A Different Type of Church Girl, The Battle of the Calling.
Okay.
And as I was talking to you earlier about the book, I thought it was it's not my story. People reading go, is that your life story? No.
Okay, we got that
yeah,
clear.
let's clear that up. But what I want to say is that the book is basically about an over-religious grandmother who install her religious morals on a young child. And so she keeps her hidden and she puts her through all these turmoils and things of what she should be, what God said she should
Right.
be.
This is how your life
Right, this
should
is
be,
how, because God
according
said
to
it. Right,
the
and then
Bible.
she manipulate the Bible by putting her rules in it to punish her, to bound her up
Wow.
from being whoever God called her to be. So what she does is that internet thing, that dating site. So as she gets older, as a teenager, she goes on a site and she gets a friend.
Okay.
And he's trusting, he's caring, and all the things that women right now today get on the internet and they start developing a buddy, a trusted friend.
Right.
And then when she develops this friendship, she runs away. She goes into a life of prostitution.
Wow.
That's why you see on the book cover, you see her in her what she was supposed to be is a preacher, but then again she became something else. And so that's why it's called the battle of the calling. Because anytime you call to do something great, there's a fight
There
for
is.
you to get to that greatness.
You get all these obstacles. You experience all these things. It's like a test, right? If you want to stay on your course, or if this is what you really want, right?
Right.
So, as far how did this idea to write this book, how did this come about?
It's like one day I had this vision, and it was just because, as a playwright, you write so many stories. And I had this vision about want to write about somebody who's struggling through religion, over religious family, and it just started coming. I started having visions, and I started seeing it come to life. So I started writing it, and the more I wrote, the more it was affecting me
all came out.
because this young woman was being manipulated. She was she had to deal with forgiveness.
Right.
How do you forgive someone that killed your parents?
We were just talking about forgiveness.
Wasn't
too.
we?
How do you forgive? And even with my next play I'm writing, one of the titles I say to the audience, I go, there's pain in forgiveness. Are you ready to forgive?
Right.
Are you
Right.
ready to let go? Are you
It's
ready
that
to move
uncertainty,
on?
right? You don't know. Like,
Right.
should I forgive? Will it happen again? Will it not happen again?
And it's
What
so
would it do
and it's
to
so
me?
important to
Right.
forgive, because you're not forgiving the person, you're doing it for yourself.
Right. So
Because
you
like
can
I
move
said to you
forward.
before, I face my rapists on Facebook. They always comment or say hello or something like that. And that was hard for me
Right.
to do that, because that was a family member. So now I see this person constantly at family reunions. Before I used to run, I used to hide, because I used to give them my power, make me afraid, make me keep my mouth closed.
Wow.
And then when I finally learned true forgiveness, it empowered me that it wasn't my fault.
Right, it was not.
It wasn't my fault, that I didn't ask for that. And then what I did, I took my power back from them. And so when I faced them, I'm in control.
Right,
You
right.
don't
On
have
your
to
terms.
Yeah, on my
On
terms.
your
I
terms.
don't have to run away from you. You're not frightening me anymore, because as long as you keep running and you keep hiding,
showing that
you
fear,
showing
and
the
you
fear,
giving
and
that
you giving
power.
them.
Giving
I
them
tell
that
my daughters
power.
all the time, I say, take your charger out of that socket and stop charging your phone into that kind of energy. You got to stop giving people that energy, that power. You have to
agree.
face your accuser and let you know you're not going to do this to me no more. I'm stronger now.
Right.
I'm wiser now. And sometimes
know,
stories like that affect us as women, because we don't talk about it, and it's hard. But
is.
but when you do face your accuser and you forgive them then you heal. There got to be an internal healing. It has to be.
As women, as adults, right? We're doing a little table talk now because as adults, we grow up, we read, we see Disney, we see all these books about, oh, the prince coming on the horse, or we don't know about these things until it happens and how it affects like a family member doing something like that to you. I mean, this is somebody you expect that's going to protect you and take care of you, and that's not what happened. They took advantage of you being a young child and used whatever they knew about you to make you keep that as a secret. And Julz, your music, right? That's your outlet.
Definitely.
Where you write your own songs, you know, what is it about what is it about your music? Like, what do you want the world to know about you as you're singing and you're performing and you're showing yourself, opening up your world to everybody? What is it that you want us to know about you?
That I'm just like you. I'm just like everybody else. I went through heartbreak. I've been raped. I've been abused. And, you know, you can use writing, you can use music, you can use dance, you can use painting, you can use whatever it is that's your passion, you can utilize it to not only tell your story, but to help save you through your struggle.
And it's always for someone else. We are here on this earth for other people. Our stories, our trials, our triumphs is always for somebody else.
Exactly.
And as women, what I love about us being women, we're very sharey anyway. You know, we're very, exactly. We share and we're nurturing by nature. And then so nurturing. And so what happens is that when we start coming together and we share these stories, we help other women. We help other women have table talks at dinner time or have brunch and say, girl, I need to talk. I've been going through, you know.
We need to stop masking these feelings. And we do need to talk about it. Because there's a lot of people that's going through a lot of things that just need to pick up the phone. We're so busy texting, looking on social media to see how somebody's doing. Sometimes you need to pick up that phone and really check on somebody the right way. Now, I know you're here too. We're talking about your music. Give us a little background about how you got started. What brought you into the world of music? And how did you, get started to where you're at today?
Well, I started initially writing poetry, and I was initially a dancer. I danced all my life. I competed all over New York. I was even a dance major in college. Poetry was always something I used to express myself. I never knew I could sing until I was about 12.
Oh, wow.
And then one of my neighbors brought it to my attention. So when I realized I could sing and I had this voice, I was like, well, why not transition my poetry into music? My aunt had a band. It was called Ancient Grace. She was like, the hippie, she was awesome. She was jam out sessions in the basement.
Nice.
I'm from Brooklyn, so, when we had block parties, my uncle and her had tambourine and, guitar, and they'd be doing their thing. So I was always musically inclined. I always had it around me.
Right.
So after college, my grandmother passed away, and she was the person who got me obsessed with dancing and into poetry. She got me into everything. So I kind of took a little break from music because I just felt kind of lost in direction.
Right.
And then I met somebody. I just find it crazy, like people, you just
came into your path, right?
People just come into your path. We were just talking about that, how people just come into your life at the perfect time, and he did, and he helped me with my first project, and then, I went on to, other projects, so.
Okay. How many years have you been doing music?
I started performing when I was 14, so I'd say about 15 years.
All right, so you said you're working on some new music right now that's going to be coming out soon. So tell us about what you're going to be expressing to us as of today, Julz, the grown woman who's had some experiences in the business. Like, what are some of the things that we can look for as your message now that you would like for us to receive?
Well, I'm actually working on a project right now. This is actually the first time I'm really talking about the project, but it's about women empowerment. I'm going to start looking for people to be in the actual video because it's going to be a documentary/music video.
Okay.
And it's going to be portraying women of different situations, a burn victim, a woman with a pigmentation disease, a domestic violence survivor, just random multiple things that women go through. And the song is going to be really touching for other women. So that's a project I'm working on right now. It's going to be really big.
Great.
That's great.
Because we definitely need that. And your different plays that you've written, is there like certain themes? Like, what are some of the topics you write about when you're doing your plays?
I write about what we're experiencing in the community. Like, one of my plays that really touched the heart of the community was "Thou Shalt Not Kill," when murder becomes the new black. And I wrote that because I got tired of turning on the media and they kept saying another black kid died, another black person died, gangs this, gangs that. And I'm like, okay, so we need to do something about this.
Right.
And I'm the kind of person that if there is a problem, let's create a solution.
Right.
Right. So when I wrote this play, it was about a pastor who was in a gang and he couldn't really get out. And so when he came into the church, his best friend said, hey, we still in this gang together. He goes, no, I'm serving God. He said, no, you'll serve me.
Wow.
And so he was angry because he couldn't convert the pastor to become in the gang. So what he did, he recruited his son.
Okay.
And so the story goes, then you watch all the black people dying off. But at the same token, I let the audience see how the family is affected.
Right.
Not just the loss,
Right.
but what you do when you
entirety.
take somebody's son by murder. This is what happens to the mother, the sister. Their family is affected. And I wanted the audience to see
That's important.
Yeah, so we're
That's
trying to
important.
revive it again. Now we want to take it into the school systems.
Nice.
Because that's where it has to
I
go.
became a school teacher recently because watching the news, seeing what
See?
children are going through, all these children don't, have any options, or they feel like they don't.
Right, they feel like they
and
don't.
they need to have somebody in their lives that let them know that you're a special.
Mm-hmm.
You can really do a lot. You just have to apply some discipline right now.
Right.
But you don't have to join gangs. You don't have to run the
No.
street. All you have to do is come in here and study, do something for yourself so you can grow and be successul adults. So
Right.
that is an important message to carry. Where can they buy your book?
Yes, please support this book, The Different Type of Church Girl. You can get it on Amazon, and you can buy it on Amazon. And then we also have a T-shirt line where we say Black Women Lives Matter.
Nice.
And it's important that you go through this journey with this woman. She just bought this book. Yay!
Nice, beautiful.
And it's just really about women who are really going through stuff and they just don't have the resources or the outlet. And this woman didn't. But we create outlets, us,
we
the
do.
community. You create a sound for your voice for young girls. The song you were singing was so wonderful.
Yes, it
I mean,
was.
and she had me listen to it because I was
Yeah.
texting.
I was like, replay it while she's doing it again. When you did like the sound check and then you did
Right.
it again, I was like, really pay attention to what she's saying.
Right.
Because you definitely had a message in
Right,
there.
and
you
it was
know?
and it was
Thank
somewhat
you. I
sort
appreciate
of like
that.
what this woman had went through. Remember we were talking
Right,
about that?
right.
How I think your song was about the lies or something, right?
Yeah.
And that's what happened to her. That's what took her on the wrong path.
Right.
And there's a lot of black women who go on the wrong path
Right.
because they plug
You
into the
think it
wrong
start-
thing.
Right.
You know,
You plug into
you
the
can't
wrong
plug
thing.
into the wrong thing because it's going to make you live the wrong life.
I agree with
so
you.
you got to watch where you put your plug in. I always tell my daughters, don't put your charger in anybody's socket.
I know,
No,
I
tell
agree.
my
I
daughter the
agree.
same thing. You have to have that conversation, especially even young kids today. My daughter's 10. And I have that discussion with her all the time about the internet and, being careful, being cautious. You could think it's your friend on the other end of that
Could be a
phone, and it could be a
grown
grown
person.
man.
And that's the
Acting
scary
like-
part. That's
Yeah.
the scary part.
So where can we find your music?
You can find it on SoundCloud. It's Your Julz, YOUR _ Julz, JULZ. And I'm currently working on distribution too.
Look, keep it moving, keep going,
Yes,
because I've been
girl.
following your music for quite some time. And for social media, if someone wanted to follow you, where would they go? What's your social media?
You can find me everywhere. On Instagram, it's Your Julz, YOUR JULZ, and same thing on all social media outlets.
Thank
Wonderful.
you.
Wonderful.
And yourself?
You guys, if you Google or type in Trevi Booker Pershay, it'll send you to a whole list of stuff of what
Nice.
I've been doing. But definitely on Facebook is Trevi Booker Pershay, and on Instagram is Trevi Pershay Productions.
Great.
So yeah.
I want to thank you for joining me. I
Thank
wish
you.
we had more
Thank
time.
you.
Maybe we'll have a follow-up
Yeah.
where we can really sit down. But I think this table talk idea was pretty good.
I
And there's a lot of things that we really need to talk about. I know I probably couldn't get too much into the careers, but we can always have you come back
We could do
again.
that.
And thank you for joining us.
Thank
for
you
Women's
for
Month.
having us.
And, I wish you both the best with whatever projects you try to take on.
Thank you. Same
Because
to
we
you.
definitely need that positive energy flowing into this industry.
That's all
so,
it's about is
right.
positive
Right.
energy.
Right. But thank you for tuning in. We'll be right back with more. Stay tuned.
See, I told y'all it was a good show, right? Did y'all catch all the artists that we had do their thing up here today?
positive people doing positive things. Make sure you reach out and support the artists. Make sure you hit me up on JustGimmeTheMic.com for some upcoming events. We got a whole series of showcases and events coming up over the summer. So if you want to be a part of that, make sure you hit me up. And also subscribe to Just Give Me the Mic on YouTube as well, y'all. Hope you enjoyed the show. Good night.